Hello, is this Melissa? Hello?
Yes. Who'd you ask for?
Melissa?
Yeah, this is her.
Okay, yeah, this is Scott Thomas with the USIDHR. I was following up. I know it's kind of late. This message didn't come through right away, and so I'm getting this text message now. I don't usually use text message, but I was calling. I had left a message because I was curious about more information about John C. Fremont days, specifically that I know the people over at the Tea Party here in Dodge County. There's some older people. They're nice people though, and they had been interested in putting a booth. I know they've put booths up in previous years, and they said something about it being cost prohibitive. And I'm not a member of the Tea Party, but I ran for office last year, and I spoke to their group a bunch of times because I do like their mission statement. It's, limited local government, God-given liberties, protections, fiscal conservative accountability and stuff like that. And so I like the statement of the Tea Party. And I was just curious, is it true that like a nonprofit group such as the Tea Party, or a group that incorporates for the public good, I'm not even sure if they're incorporated with the Secretary of State officially, but is it true that those groups are also charged for vendor tables as if they were selling merchandise and curing a problem?
Yeah, so there is a few different vendor options for prices. So there's some who they would market it for trying to make money. Otherwise, there's another option for literature only, and then it's only $50. But every vendor does pay a fee.
Okay, so even people who, if I wanted to, because our group, we might be interested in, say we put up a table and passed out free copies of the Constitution to Americans. We would pay you guys a fee for that? Or would that be a service that we would provide in cooperation with your guys' event?
So technically, yes, you would pay the vendor fee, because like I said, every vendor pays the fee to have a spot basically at the park. Okay. Now, as far as political stuff, we don't allow that.
Don't allow what?
Like political parties to come in.
But you guys aren't affiliated with the city, right? So you would have to use the sheriff or the city police to enforce that.
Correct.
Do you guys have a contract with the city that allows you to do that?
Not allow, or with the cops?
Yeah, a contract that allows you to restrict the use of city parks. Because essentially what you're saying is you monetize it for private...
Yeah, technically yes, because we rent out the park from the city.
Yeah, no, because I live...
weekend, so if there's something that we don't want, we can, there's people who want to sell knives, I can restrict that. So it's kind of... the same thing. If there's something we don't want, we don't have to have it. Right.
I live a block from Clemens. Do you restrict my park as well?
You live where?
A block from Clemens. I live a block away from Trinity Lutheran, next to Clemens Park, on the other side of town, on the east side. You guys have off-site activities over there? Do you restrict my park as well?
I don't know what your park is.
My park, the park next to my house. I just said I live by Clemens. I live a block from Clemens Park by Trinity Lutheran on the east side of town. You guys have off-site events there. Well, I just want to know how much... Go ahead. I'm listening. I just want to know how much influence you guys have appropriated from the civil authorities.
Right. So, if you're wanting to... It sounds like stir the pot. Go ahead. There's also a possibility of being removed.
You said being removed from what?
The park, since like I said, we rent the park out for our event.
Okay, and so you said you're going to have us removed?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it could lead to that.
Well, you just said that. You said if I want to stir the pot, go ahead and get removed. You want to see who the cops work for, is what you're saying.
You could rent a booth area.
I know exactly what I can do. But I'm just saying, because that's what I do. That's the work I do. It's my job to know what I can do.
If you want, I could refer you over to the president, who might be able to help you with like more information. But that's
fine.
This is only my second year, so I don't know everything, but I know a bit.
That's fine. Yeah, I'd appreciate that. You give them my number or.
Yep, her name is Connie.
Okay.
She obviously has a Monday through Friday job, so I don't know how soon she'll get back to you, but I'll definitely relay the message.
Okay. Oh, you'll relay the message to her and have her contact me.
Yeah, would that be fine?
Yeah, that's fine. I had a pen out in case you wanted to give me a number to contact her.
And what was your first name?
My name's Scott.
Scott, okay. It comes up on my phone as Thomas. I didn't know.
That's fine. Okay, so.
Okay. Yeah, no, I can do that.
Okay, so just like expect a call from her next week or what?
Probably. Yeah, that'd probably be sufficient time, I would imagine.
Okay. Because, my daughter walked in your guys' parade one year. I mean, if you guys, because our church participated in it, but if you guys want to work, cooperatively with the community and everything, I'm all for that. I'm all for proactive relationship building and networking. I'm just trying to have a better understanding because, if you're telling me that it would be stirring the pot to show up in the city where I live, where I'm watching my neighbors get priced out of their homes because they're on fixed incomes and the property taxes keep rising and we can't attend our parks, but under certain conditions, I'm going to clarify all of that. I'm going to clarify with the news. I'm going to clarify with the civil authorities. I was on Trump's campaign in 23 and 24, and so I will do whatever I got to do to make sure that Americans are protected, if that's fair enough. And so I'm not trying to sound contentious, but if it sounds contentious to you that I'm saying that Americans have rights in this country, then maybe you're the one that's stirring the pot. But I'm not going to point any fingers. I'm just saying. I'll wait for a follow-up from Miss Connie, and I appreciate your time.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Thanks for calling.
Thank you, Miss Melissa.
Yeah.
Oh, I had called her for a little bit more information, and she said she would refer it to you, I guess, because... Okay, so I guess to kind of bring you up to speed on what I perceive the situation as is... She says anybody that wants to reserve a booth or a spot at the John C. Fremont Days, wants to participate in the festivities, has to pay X amount of dollars, even if it was a nonprofit group, somebody who incorporated a business or a corporation for the public good, somebody who's just doing free work to the public without grant money, and they're sacrificing of their own resources to try and, like I give the example, a group that wants to pass out copies of the Constitution. Okay, and she said that they're still expected to pay, and I asked, why'd they be expected to pay even if they're not selling anything and there's no business being done? So they're not gaining anything. They're not potentially gaining anything. They can't profit from the activity. Why they be expected to pay? And she says, this is just the rules. We rent out the park. And I said, I'm sorry. So you rent the city park? And I asked, what kind of contracts you guys drawing up? Now, I know you've been doing Fremont Days for a long time. I know it's a long standing.
7 years.
Yeah. Yep. And I talked to some people in the community that like it. You know what I mean? They really like going to Fremont Days and everything. So I'm not out here trying to... I guess my question is is that accurate information that I was given?
That's correct.
Okay.
Correct. Even nonprofit organizations are asked to pay the nonprofit fee.
Why is that? But they're not making any money, right?
Right.
They're just providing a service to the community, and you guys would be like the mechanism for them to...
Now, a lot of them are passing out information
that
does them good, correct?
Define good. If you're a not-for-profit organization.
Our organization is a non-profit organization.
Okay, so you guys can't generate a profit from this. I mean, you could, but you could be potentially investigated for doing that because you guys...
We are a non-profit organization. We run by all the government rules. We run by all their rules to be non-profit.
Perfect. Okay, so if you guys put up a booth somewhere at somebody else's event in Omaha or Lincoln or something, you wanted to promote John C. Fremont Days because it's up and coming, and all you were doing was just passing out flyers to let people know about free events in the community for the community to participate in, would you be expecting to pay somebody a fee to do that?
Yes.
Would you really? I'm just curious. Okay.
I would pay a fee to set an organization up that was a nonprofit. Not necessarily, it would have to go through the board. I can't make that final decision, but if it was me alone and I had an organization of my own that wanted to spread word.
Right, but I'm talking about specifically. Okay, go ahead.
Then yes, I would pay them their fee. They take the time and advertising and whatnot to bring that event together.
Okay, so everybody pays a fee that participates.
A bit of fee. Yes, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I'm just trying to understand what your guys' structure is for this, your framework. That's all.
Okay. Well, Scott, I think we talked about this last year.
Okay.
I know what the Tea Party is.
Okay.
I was the director of the city park the last 3 years.
Okay.
And as the Tea Party has been told, we don't allow political stuff in the park during that time.
Okay.
It is a family event. We want family event things there.
Well, I mean, all due respect, it's a political event, right? It's named for the first Republican nominee for the presidency. I mean, it was a controversial person, so it can
become controversial or not.
Right.
It's our guidelines. We follow.
Yes. That nobody.
Out on public streets.
Yes. No. Fair enough.
Sidewalks,
oh, absolutely. No, absolutely.
But anywhere
where you're renting the park from the taxpayers.
We have a contract with the city.
Okay.
Of certain areas.
Yeah, that's what I was inquiring about. Trying to know more about the contract, I guess.
Well, I'm not gonna.
No, that's fine. You don't have to. I got other channels. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out under what premise of law or authority of civil governance you can restrict the movement or the activities of private citizens within their own communities at their own city parks. Like, who pays for the city parks any other day of the week? Like, you pay for them for what, the 13th through the 15th of July, right? You rent them for those 3 days to have the authority to see. This is how it was represented to me by somebody who works for your organization, was that the police will remove people at your direction from these city parks during those 3 days. Yep. Something
goes on during that time, whether it is somebody causing commotion, somebody fighting. Yes, the police will come in.
Well, they do that every day of the year. Right, they do that every day of the year. No, they don't have to do it at your request, because if somebody fights in a city park, even if you've tried to reserve a space to hold a private event, the police still have to enforce law, and you could say, well, we will
enforce the law.
Exactly. Yes. Correct. Okay, but that's not how it was represented to us. How it was represented to us was that you guys have the authority for those 3 days to.
Yes, we do.
To remove people. Yes.
We will request that you leave. If you do not leave at our request, yes, we can call the police and we can ask you to be removed.
Well, the police will already be on site, right?
Yes, we do have officers and security officers throughout the whole day.
I'm just trying to verify what you're saying to me here is that you contract with the city and pay X amount of dollars in order to use the police as your private security for 3 days, where you can determine. Okay, but you just.
They come and go whenever we pay a different company for our security. They come and go as they will through the park during the event.
Okay.
They're not contracted. We do not hire them separately.
Okay, and they don't remove people for your preference. There has to be a violation of law. I mean, maybe you could explain it to your subordinate, but that was.
Okay. Again.
I'm just asking. I'm clarifying.
I'm going to end the conversation here. If you have problems with us using the city park under an agreement with the city of Fremont,
I'm trying to figure out what I have problems with or not. I mean, but you're not giving me a lot of information. It's all right. I mean, you got offered to me as a possible avenue for more information. I mean, if I can't get information out of you, that's fine. Go ahead.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we have an agreement with the city. For the park in different areas, other parks that are ours for this celebration.
Yeah, city property. But it's your city property, right? for all intents and purposes, for those 3 days, it's yours, right? You can remove people without them violating any kind of state statute, federal law, or city ordinance.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
You could
if you come in the park and you hand out pamphlets.
Well, what if somebody's not handing out pamphlets? What if
not to?
Okay.
And you come in the park and you do it, we will ask you to leave.
And by pamphlets, you're referring to the U.S. Constitution that I referenced, right?
Anything political.
Okay,
yes.
But well, okay, the U.S. Constitution is political?
It's
I think you're
controversial
misspeaking here. Listen, Miss Connie, I'll tell you what. Why don't you think about this over the weekend, and we'll talk again on Monday.
I'm not gonna
Yo, you think I'm trying to patronize you?
You're not welcome.
I'm trying to accommodate you. I'm not welcome. Excuse me. I'm not welcome. Is that what you're saying right now?
Sir, you are changing my words.
Okay.
If you would listen to me,
I'm listening.
we will have booths,
Mm-hmm.
and like Melissa said, if it's political or we feel it's political or controversial, we have the right to give you a booth.
Okay. And to clarify,
If you
clarify
hand
this,
out pamphlets,
I don't know what
and
pamphlets
we
means.
feel that
I don't know what. Excuse me. I'm sorry, but can we just to clarify that?
do you have a flyer that you want to hand out?
No.
You want to hand
No,
out
I said the
information?
Constitution. I said if somebody wants to pass copies of the Constitution of the United States of America in a United States park in the city of Fremont, in the state of Nebraska. And I that's why I'm trying to clarify. You're not talking about that as political literature, are you?
We had discussed them last year, and yes, it was deemed political controversy information. This is a family.
I swear, there's no way. There's no way we. I understand. Yes, ma'am.
And
There's no way we would have had that discussion though last year, and me not refer. Yeah, and me not.
the year before.
Well, then there's. I'm telling you. I'm telling.
Tea Party compound.
Tea Party or not.
Contact us and asked us to do it, and we denied it then.
I don't care about what the Tea Party contacted you, asked you to do. What I'm saying is, if you had told me yesterday, but last year, because I'm the U.S. IDHR director for Nebraska, if you had told me last year that the U.S. Constitution was deemed by your organization as political, and that it was controversial.
They called and asked,
correct.
And they said what they were going to do, hand out copies of the Constitution, and we deemed it was not what we wanted in the park.
Man, what would the president say about this? I'm just going to cut straight to the chase about it. We have a new administration. There's a new sheriff in town. The Democrats are not running the show anymore. And so the U.S. Constitution is no longer considered propaganda.
This is our organization
Yep.
that has
Your organization that
decided
considers that the U.S. Constitution is propaganda. That the U.S. Constitution is political propaganda.
Anything like that in the park during that time. I'm sorry it disappoints you.
What do you mean
I'm
like
sorry
that?
If you feel
What do you mean I'm sorry it disappoints you, and what do you mean like that?
Anything like that?
Against me for the Constitution? Because I want to give people. You just said I'm sorry if we feel. You just said I'm sorry if you feel that we're against you. You just said that, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Because you're making it sound like
you don't want to give people the Constitution, or you're opposed to the Constitution. I'm making it sound like that.
We're not going to have that passed through the park, not during a family.
The Constitution.
Gathering.
I'll have the Constitution passed through any city in any state in the United States.
You
are going to find out the long way.
You can go out on any side, public sidewalk, and do what you want. We're asking you not to come into the city park during the event.
So you're asking me not to come to the park? Is that what you're telling me right now?
Sir, not personally. I'm asking you not to pass out the Constitution walking around in the city park during our organization.
Okay, don't pass out the Constitution in the main park in Fremont, Nebraska, in the United States of America. I just want to make sure I got all that right. Like I said, I was on President Trump's campaign in 23 and 24. I believe in the American president.
Congratulations.
I believe in the president, and I believe in America. And both of my grandfathers were World War II veterans. Okay, so I'm willing to fight for this country. Whatever.
Sir, my husband is a military vet. My son is a military vet.
Have you told your husband?
My father and stuff like that. I'm not going to argue about this.
Beautiful.
Sir.
Tell your father and tell your husband what you just told me about the U.S. Constitution, and then I'll talk to you on Monday. And I'll talk. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sir,
You've already told them about that. You've already told them about that. Well, like I said,
Sir,
to be honest, man, I can go over
this
your
is
head.
not up for discussion.
Yeah, I get that. You think it's not up for discussion. It's the U.S. Constitution. It's absolutely not up for discussion.
We are asking you not to walk through the park or getting a booth to pass out the Constitution during our organization, during our time, to celebrate our city.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move to another question, because the other question that I had was, I asked her, I said, you guys have off-site activities that are a block from my house. So what are the restrictions on myself? Hold on. I live by...
Okay, no. I'm sorry, I missed the first part of it. Can you say it again? We have what activities?
Off-site activities. So you guys have activities throughout the city, right?
What are those? What are those activities that are
at Clemens Park,
by your
right?
area?
At Clemens Park.
Clemens Park.
Okay. There's a block from my house. Okay. So I want to know, how restricted is my activity?
Second. You're breaking up. You're breaking up. Hang on.
I'm at the state lake. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find better reception real quick. Tell me if I
can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
So what I was saying is,
at Clemens Park.
What are the restrictions on me there in my activities? Because you're telling me in the main city park that my activities are restricted. What about the activities in the park where I live?
No, you cannot go to Clemens Park and do it.
And do what? Pass out the Constitution.
Pass out the Constitution, no.
But I was passing the Constitution there this week and last week, and I'm not allowed to pass it the week that you're there, right? You're just clarifying this. I'm just saying, you understand who our organization is and what we do is.
Ask you not to do
that. I understand all that. I want to clarify that you understand that our organization, among other things, passes copies of the U.S. Constitution for free, complimentary copies of the Constitution to citizens at various public events, public parks, and we were in that park passing out the Constitution already. And so you're telling me to cease and desist my activities. I'm just clarifying.
We ask you not to walk through the park during that time and pass out copies of the Constitution.
What if I stand still in the park and pass out copies of the Constitution, Miss Connie?
Sir, you're splitting hairs.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to be funny. I'm asking you direct questions because I want to know what your answers are. No, I'm an American.
Okay, so am I.
Okay, if you're an American, then answer my question. I'm passing copies in the Constitution in the park in front of my house, and you're telling me I have to stop it because you've made a contract with my city and paid them money to not pass out copies of my Constitution in the park in my neighborhood in front of my house. Do you live on the east side? Are you even from Fremont, Miss Connie?
I own a business in Fremont.
Okay, but you don't live in Fremont. Okay, well, this is my community. This is where my children live.
Up again.
No, well, I said this. I said, well, this is my community. This is where my children live.
Are you still there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Hello?
I lost you.
Well, I can hear you. I don't know why I can hear you so clearly and you just can't hear me.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hang on. You're breaking up.
I'm here. Can you hear me? I hear you just fine.
You're scattered.
Okay, I was driving, so I'm trying to get
It's kind of like a robot-y.
I'm driving. I'm just trying to get to a better spot where I have better reception. I might have an obstruction here. Okay. Does it sound better now?
No, it's still wiry, kind of robotic.
Okay. Well, my question was just, if you own a business, I think that's different than raising an 11-year-old son, a 13-year-old.
I can't hear you again. I can't.
Okay, I'm trying to get to better reception.
You're completely gone now. I don't hear nothing.
I don't know what to say. I hear you all right. I hear you just fine. You're not cracking up. You're not breaking up. I hear you perfectly. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's white, like not static, but robotic. It's
okay. How about now? I'm trying to find better reception. So tell me when I get to a point of good reception. I'm trying to move around a little bit and see if I can.
A little better.
Okay. We're better now? Okay.
That's better.
Okay. So my point is, I have respect for small business.
Because you'll lose your signal.
Okay. Well, okay. So my point. Can you hear me now? How about now?
All right, try that.
Okay, right here. So my point is, I understand that you're a small business owner. I have an 11-year-old son. No?
I lost you again.
Okay, hold on. Hold on 1 second. See if this helps at all.
No. You're gone again.
I'm gone. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
It's better.
Okay, it's a little bit better. How about right about here?
No.
Okay. Here we go. How about here?
That's better.
Okay. Okay, so my concern was, like I said, I appreciate that you're a small business owner, right? I have can you hear me now?
Bits and pieces.
Okay.
I heard small business owner.
Oh, I said I appreciate that you're a small business owner, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I have an 11-year-old son, a 13-year-old daughter. I raise them in this community. Okay, so whether or not somebody can pass the Constitution in the park in front of their house that they pay taxes to the city to maintain is something that's of interest to me outside of the work that I do. So it's not just my position, it's not just my job, but as a parent, as an American, as somebody who wants to preserve the country, the America that I grew up in, for future generations, so that my children and they can raise their children in that same America. I have to ask these kind of questions. And if it comes off as contentious, that's just how it comes off as. But trust and believe, like, understand that I talk to everybody just like I talk to my boss like this.
That's fine.
Well, I'm just saying.
My skin's thick.
Good, because I don't want to.
I mean,
Because I don't want to offend anybody that's
No.
okay. That's sensitive
and I
or
understand. I mean,
okay.
I have, and it may come off naive. I am not the smartest person in the world,
I'm
and
not.
I will be the first to admit it. Yes, I own a business, and it's taken me a long time, and
No, that's good. Congratulations for that. I mean, I'm.
and
That,
I'm proud of it. And
yeah,
I
no, that's
understand
good.
what you're doing, and and I do. I appreciate it. I think some things in this country have majorly gone astray.
Yep, I ran on that.
I'm a firm believer that businesses shouldn't be open on Sunday. I think that should be family time. I think
I
if
agree
we
with you.
spend more time with our families and having meals on Sunday and going to church and stuff, we wouldn't have so many of our young adolescents and even young adults.
Yeah, that's all designed by.
So lost in this world.
All that stuff was done by design during the Cold War, through demoralization campaigns by communists, by seriously, by enemies of our country.
I am not smart in history.
No, it's all right. I'm
not smart in certain areas. I have a hard time comprehending things in areas.
Miss Connie, can I just ask you one real quick question that cuts to the chase of everything? Because I think we agree about a lot of things. Our country was just in a very serious condition. It's still in kind of a serious condition. Our world is in a serious condition, right? And so everything right now, it would behoove us as Americans to take the initiative to be as proactive as we can to make sure that we do what we can to preserve our country. Do you think that that's more easily serviced by Americans having copies of the Constitution? Okay.
And I understand.
So to that point, okay. And that's the only point I'm trying to make.
And
like whether you care for Doug Whitman or the Tea Party guys, like I don't care as much about that as I do about if there's restrictions on me passing the Constitution at a park that I pass it at anyways, and for a couple of days I can't pass it because John C. Fremont Days is in town, then that means that John C. Fremont Days is inherently anti-American, that it's opposed to patriotism. I don't want it to be the case. No. I know, and I don't think that's the case because all the people that I meet that are associated with the organization seem to be good red-blooded Americans, but I can't square this. But I can't square that logic.
You also have to understand we have to have some restrictions.
Fair enough. But the restrictions can't be the U.S. Constitution. It can't by matter of law. You know what the Supremacy Clause is? It means that you can't make a law on a federal or a state level that tries to supersede the Constitution. That the state law and the federal law and the city ordinances are all subordinate to the Constitution. So the fact that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land means in and of itself, nobody can prohibit me from passing it anywhere at any time. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not
trying to be rude.
But I want you to appreciate. I want you to appreciate why.
You not to walk through.
But I'm gonna ask you not to ask people for that. I'm going to ask you not to ask people for that, or I'm going to talk to the president. I'm going to make sure that you guys get disbanded, because we will not have anti-American campaigns in the state of Nebraska. But I'm not saying you are. I'm asking you not to behave like you're anti-American, because like I said, this is God's country.
We're asking you can do it on the sidewalks.
You want us to stand on the like okay, would you understand on abortion? No, that's fine. That's fair. I know. I know. But do you understand the optics? Do you know what a sidewalk counselor is? Have you ever heard of like the sidewalk counselor? They stand outside of abortion clinics. They stand on the sidewalk, and they're not allowed to touch the grounds of the actual abortion clinic where they perform the homicides on the babies. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how you feel about abortion. I'm pro-life. And so I see this as a horrible, reprehensible place where they're smushing the heads of babies to smithereens, and people have to stand on the edge and minister to people who are going in there to kill their own children, mothers who are desperate and in a state of disarray, and they have to try and offer to them the peace of God. And you're telling me I should do the same thing? I should stand on the sidewalk and offer to people who are in a camp where they're not allowed to read the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, and talk to them about the goodness of America. I'm just saying, I don't think it'll work out good for you. You guys will be on YouTube, and your organization won't be able to draw a crowd next year. I promise that. Or I could have you set down by the president, but I wouldn't want to do that because I'm a free market guy. I believe in competition and open industry and stuff like that. So, like, I would never try and get you guys disbarred from holding your event. But if your event seeks to disbar us from passing out the Constitution, which we've been doing for 5 years in this city, and I've never had a conflict where somebody has told me I can't pass it out.
Did it 5 years at John C. Fremont? No. They called last year. They called the year before. They called the year before, and no one had a problem with our request.
I don't know about the Tea Party's request per se. I was curious about. I made an inquiry on their behalf because they told me that they couldn't afford the cost for the booth, and I said, well, it should be a free booth if you're not making any money and you're just passing out information. And I said I'm going to call and find out how that's set up, because if you remember, I think I asked about possibly buying a booth, a merchandise booth, but I haven't looked into whatever the Tea Party was doing. And I passed copies of the Constitution to people last year at your event. I know I did, because I keep the Constitution. I keep the Constitution on me, and I pass it to people daily. It's what I do for a living. I'm just saying, I'm the USIDHR Nebraska director. I just came back from a conference in Turkey. I worked on President Trump's campaign. They tried to shoot him. They tried to indict him 34 times and put him in prison. I put him in the White House. And so I don't know what you think I'm doing here. But like I said, I'm just trying to save America. Please don't get in my way of that. And why would you want to? That's my point. We're both Americans, Miss Connie. I think that, and you said something earlier about, I'm not politically astute. I don't follow this stuff. I'm not trying to insinuate anything like that. I'm hope that's not what you took from that. But I would ask you, like I said, when I was saying earlier, I wasn't trying to patronize you when I said, look, why don't you think on it and I talk to you on Monday? Because I think if you thought over the weekend about it and you thought about how much you loved it, I appreciate it.
I will not make this decision. I'm going by our guidelines that we have set.
Absolutely. No, by the book. I understand.
I will bring your concerns to the board.
Yes.
And that's the best I can do.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just, like I said, I think we're on the same side on this. Maybe it might be in my delivery or something, and maybe I'm not saying it right. Because it's just as easily as you're saying, it could be on your end, and maybe you don't get. Maybe I don't get it. Maybe I'm misunderstanding, and I'm not saying it the correct way to convey what I'm trying to convey. Because I do really think that you and I seem to line up on a lot of issues, and I'm not sure how we could be disagreeing on this. That's why I said maybe I'm just saying it wrong. And if we left it alone and in a couple of days talk back on it again, maybe we would find that the words were just what was getting in the way of. You know what I mean? I think that we're talking past each other, because I think we do kind of line up on the same issues and we agree about a lot of the same stuff. So I think there's a resolution here. I don't know. But yeah, if you would talk to the board, that'd be great. You got my number, and this is my cell phone. You can call me anytime, day or night. I'm always available.
All righty.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for your attention, okay? God bless you, okay? Have a good weekend.
All right. Have a